Hello friends, a very warm welcome to Ansarkari. I am Vikas Bhardwaj. Continuing our journey of understanding very substantial, important, foundational, and I would say core topics with respect to sociology. Today we are talking about the Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism because we are dealing it in two parts. So we are first discussing part one, and that is how we also appreciate and also understand the true contribution of Weber. Because it is Weber's best known work. We have studied so much about Weber and we keep on appreciating him both as an institution and as a creator of so many modern elements and ideas in sociology that Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism, it is it is a benchmark study because it is tracing the impact of ascetic Protestantism, that is Calvinism. That means a way of life. That means a following of certain teachings and principles in Christianity. How it is helping in the rise of capitalism and and it is actually the part of Weber's larger scholarship. That means his larger interest, larger passion, and his larger determination to understand how religion and modern capitalism is linked, how religion and modern capitalism is linked, and why it is not linked everywhere, and why it is linked particularly in the West. That is why distinctive rationality of the West is actually helping in the rise of capitalism. That's what he is saying. Because Calvinist doctrine of predestination, as we already studied in little brief about how a religion and economic principles and ideas are linked when you go through the previous lecture, and you will appreciate this better because this is going to be the core part of the mains answer writing. Because this doctrine of predestination, that means everything is already decided, everything is already predetermined, and only few people are going to get salvation, and whether your number is there or not, you are not sure. And that is why you are going to work in a very disciplined way, you work in a very frugal way. This is going to lay down the foundation of capitalist ethos. That means the benchmark values, the morality. So the rational organization of the West is the key thing. Why? Because the rational organization of free labor, that means everybody who is determined, everybody who is having merit, everybody who is ready to work hard is going to get success. Open market, that is market forces, and rational bookkeeping. That means what is profit, what is lost must be clearly determined. So this idea of rationalized thinking and a kind of a rationalized behavior is going to promote science, law, politics, art, architecture, literature, universities, polity. And Weber is focusing upon system of ideas, as we already said, and he is not focusing upon material structures. And that is why the rationalization is reflected in different aspects of society in the Western world. For example, rationalized double entry bookkeeping in Europe, it institutionalized profit calculation. What is the profit? If it is profitable, we will do something. If it is not, we will not do that. But in Asia, like in countries like India, it is not just about profit. It is about dharma also, which is missing in the case of the Western world. So the Protestant ethic, which is leading to the spirit of capitalism, is the key. Because Weber linked this ethic to the spirit of capitalism. That means he is bringing two systems of ideas together. And he was concerned and he was very much keen to understand this origin of peculiar spirit which made rational capital expand. Number of companies, industries, they came up and they went on to rise and to have huge profits, and they are dominating the world today also. So the quote which you can get in the comment type questions, and also otherwise you can also quote in the answers, is the Protestant ethic is not about the rise of capitalism but about the origin of a particular, or you can say peculiar spirit. This peculiar spirit is actually promoting a capitalism. So the Puritan work ethic in England, if I say a Puritan work ethic, means again the values, the teachings, the religion, the behavior, the social conditions which are promoting a certain kind of work ethic. It transformed England, uh, you know, profit making became a kind of a moral duty, unlike the Catholic emphasis which is there on charity. So the Puritan work ethic is promoting the idea of profit, and profit is seen as a moral duty. You are immoral if you are not making profit. It's such a deeply embedded idea. So Weber is actually rejecting alternative explanations. Why? Because Weber is saying that material conditions also existed previously, sometime lavishness, sometime luxurious, sometime very simple and so forth, but the capitalism did not arise. Why did capitalism arise right now only? The psychological theory of acquisitive instinct is rejected, because instinct was always there. It was always there that we must have a lot of money, we must hoard a lot, we must have immense profit making. But capitalism never came. It came only in particular conditions at a particular time. So Weber is looking what are the causal factors, and among those causal factors religious ideas are the key. For example, ancient Rome had advanced trade till Asia and across the whole world, but and it had material wealth also, but it was lacking Protestant ethos according to Weber. So capitalism did not emerge. Capitalism emerged because of this particular or peculiar spirit. Even when he is thinking about the evidence from mixed religious systems, then he is actually saying that in countries with mixed religions, economic leaders were overwhelmingly Protestant. Overwhelmingly Protestant people, and they were dominating business, they were owning capital, they were having skilled labor, they were having technical training. So Roman Catholicism, which was a kind of a great religion, like the way we speak about Confucianism, Buddhism, Judaism, Hinduism, it failed to produce idea systems, which was only possible through this mixed religious system, which was driving individuals into capital vocations. That means you must become an entrepreneur. That's what India is also keep on speaking every night, every day, that we must create jobs rather than job seekers. We must be job creators. So in 19th century Germany, Protestants disproportionately occupied managerial and entrepreneurial roles compared to Catholics. That is what Weber is understanding and is writing also. So the spirit of capitalism, in Weber's words, it is not simply economic greed, it is often the opposite. A moral and ethical system, which is a moral and ethical system which is stressing economic success. Like the way we also operate, it is a moral and ethical way that where you have to contribute, where you have to join, you have to work, and you have to repeat and replicate the cycle. So profit making becomes a moral crusade. So Protestantism, it legitimized profit pursuit. It was not a bad thing. It was not something to be abhorred. It was not something to be feeling bad about it. It was not a taboo. And this legitimization of profit led to unprecedented expansion, and that is how capitalist system was laid down. For example, Benjamin Franklin's writings, "The Time is Money," it reflects the ethos of disciplined profit making as a moral duty. Disciplined profit making as a moral duty is the key word. So, in essence of Weber's argument, when we see, then Protestantism transformed profit pursuit into moral legitimacy. That's what we are claiming. Spirit of capitalism, that is ethical orientation, is there, and it is not instinctual greed. Rational capitalism arose uniquely in the West due to its these ethos, and when we compare it with the Chinese Confucian values of harmony and tradition, which is discouraging profit as a moral pursuit, it is limiting capitalist rationalization. And if you continue with understanding such example in ancient Indian society also, then you will find the same kind of results as per Weber. But we can go and think beyond Weber. So in part 2 of this topic, we will try to understand and conclude our understanding of this topic, so that you can write better, you can write smart, and also confidently in the examination. Thank you very much.